Look at the grey outside. The rain and grey on a cold winter's day. Dude, I swear I need this video more for myself than anything. Oh, I'm making it. Lockdown survival guide. How to stay on track. Almost like nothing's happening. Because it's kind of not, because we're locked down. Let's just get started. Alright, survival guide tip number 1. Continue to go to sleep and get up at the same time every day. So in circumstances such as spontaneous lockdowns that wildly appear, you need to regain some sort of regular routine. And a regular sleep schedule is pretty much the easiest to stick with because you have your body clock to help you with that. Unless you haven't set up your body clock, in which case... Oh my god, I swear I don't have COVID. Sort of ran out of oxygen there. But by continuing to get up and go to sleep at the same time every day, you're retaining some sort of regularity, some sort of familiar routine that you're used to. You are maintaining that regular study, work, whatever daily routine that you would have before. So you're in the best mindset to keep studying or working or whatever you need to do during the week. This helps to keep you focused on the tasks that you would usually be doing. Given it is a lockdown and it is an unfamiliar circumstance for us to be going through, it's totally understandable to have a decline in productivity. That's totally fine. Also, your mind and body stay well rested, and because of that, you are more mentally capable of adapting to these new, different conditions so quickly, and also on staying focused during the day as you would in a regular work week. So, get that beauty sleep, because it's beautiful for the body and for the mind. Okay, we'll move on to point number 2. Point number 2 in my Study Lockdown Survival Guide is continue, with some modifications, your usual routine. And I say modifications because obviously some things are going to be a little bit different, but try and keep it as similar as possible to make the transition easier for you. So this kind of relates back to the sleep one, except as well as sleep, you want to be continuing the same routine that you would usually have during the day. So this is stuff like eating your meals, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, and around the same time each day. Again, your body clock or internal hunger signals would be telling you to do that. You also want to be still attending your classes at the same time, studying and or working at about the same time each day, going for your walks and doing exercise about the same time. If you haven't been doing that before, maybe it's something to try doing. No, it is something to try doing. We'll get to that point in a sec. But the point is that you are giving yourself those same hours that you would usually have for doing whatever activities you were doing, study or work, at the same times each day, so that you have a bit of familiarity. Now, I'm going to be talking about familiarity quite a bit on this channel when it comes to ways to study effectively and ways to actually work out through exam questions and whatnot. But in terms of general life stuff as well, familiarity is a really great way to transition yourself into something new. It sounds kind of weird, but by keeping something familiar in your life, it makes change a lot easier to manage because you have something to look back onto or to fall back onto and go, okay, I feel secure, I feel comfortable here, and then I can quest out again into trying those different things. So when it comes to a lockdown situation, it's very difficult for a lot of people because it's a big change and it's a very sudden change. And despite the fact that human beings are special for the ability to adapt and cope with change, ironically, a lot of people struggle with change and don't actually like it that much. And that's fine. Familiarity is comforting, and it provides people with a sense of security. So with your routine, retaining some of that familiar routine in your day-to-day life during a lockdown, during a period of quite significant change, that's a good way to make it easier to cope and to make it easier for you to keep on track with your usual day-to-day life and to just manage the stress of it a little bit better as well. So an example of how familiarity makes things easier is that by studying at about the same time every day, you've set a period of time in the day, certain number of hours at a certain time, where your brain is conditioned to know that this is the time when you're learning and when it needs to be absorbing information and actively working. This is information absorbing time brain. It's kind of like eating your meals at the same time or going to bed at the same time. So your brain is ready to start learning and even craving or asking for that time. So it's also easier to build that habit. There'll be more talk about habits on this channel at some point, but for now we'll just keep going on with this Lockdown Survival Guide. So yeah, continue with modifications, your usual routine. If things need to change them bit by bit, not all at once. You don't kind of blast yourself with, this is so different, this is scary. So no, Let's be gentle with ourselves and let's be peaceful creatures during a time of intense stress. Okay, point number 3 in my lockdown survival guide. Remember to blink. And I don't mean the Doctor Who episode, that is the most terrifying. It's scary, but remember to blink. So this is an example of modifications in your usual schedule. Schedule in non-screen time. So in lockdown, almost all of us have been abruptly thrusted from working in person to suddenly working online in front of a screen all day. All of our meetings take place on a screen. All of our tutorials or lectures take place on a screen instead of in person. Now, human eyes, over hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, were not designed to stare at little tiny screens all day that were invented in the last couple of decades. So please, remember to blink your eyes. Right, like this. Remember how to blink. But seriously, people forget this. When you're staring at a screen for a very long period of time, it's almost like you get transfixed on the screen. If you're playing a video game, that's a classic example, you're just like staring at it. Or if you've been watching a lecture for a long amount of time and you've just been staring very intensely at the screen, or if you've been working on a bit of code or something for a long period of time, you've been staring at the screen, typing away. Your eyes start to turn square and you start to go a little bit crazy. But you would know if this has happened to you, where you've stared at a screen for too long, because some God knows how many hours later, when you finally snap out of your reverie, kind of wake up and you're like, oh, the world, you would notice your eyes just sting. They hurt. Yeah, it's because you didn't blink, mate. But adding on to that, even better than just blinking, honestly that's the baseline of what you should be doing when you're working on a screen, is to make sure you actually give your eyes a complete detox from a screen. Now I would say do this every hour. Yes, every hour. I know it seems impossible to not stare at a screen for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. Trust me, I'm guilty of this. I've done this before. I know it can be hard. You get lost in time. But every hour, close your screen. Physically isolate yourself from screens. That means close your computer. Leave your phone somewhere. Don't bring it with you. Don't look at your phone. Get up and walk away from any screen and just go and look at something else. Go look at a tree. Go look at a person. Look at your notebook. Look at a dog. Chances are it's gonna make you smile because it's so cute. Just look at something that isn't a screen. Give your eyes a rest. If you need to keep doing work, first of all, it's okay to take a little break every hour. If you need to keep doing work at the end of that hour, okay, no worries. Do you remember that thing called, that thing you learnt in junior school? Yeah, the handwriting thing. Jeez, there was a period of time when I genuinely hadn't handwritten in, maybe not weeks, I don't know, maybe like a handful of times in weeks, and it was just like, what is handwriting? But on that note, when was the last time you actually handwrote something? Go grab a notepad and a pen right now and write down these tips I'm sharing with you. It's a good way to summarize the important things in this video and also just you practice what handwriting is again. You don't have to look at the screen as you do this. You can just listen to what I'm saying and look at the paper. I mean, unless you want to look at my face, which is, yeah. Thank you. But seriously, let's have a screen break for at least 5 minutes or something every hour if you can. I mean, ideally you'd give yourself a little bit more time, but that's not necessarily practical in today's day and age and also during the lockdown, so just do what you can. But do give your eyes rest. As a screen break time, you can even just step outside and take in a breath of clean, fresh air, or a blast of freezing cold wind, because it's winter here in Melbourne and I'm freezing and my hands are just going white. But it's a way to wake you up. As a bonus, probably a better option than coffee, but a way to ensure you get your no screen time is to set a timer every hour to have a break. If you're concerned about getting pulled out of some deep work that you're doing at the time, schedule your work so you can try and get that kind of stuff done and wrapped up about 10 minutes before your alarm goes off, in case you need a little bit of extra time to just calm down and get ready for your little break. And kind of on that note, to just give yourself a little bit more freedom from the screen, free from the screen, be free from the screen, yeah. But can we break the habit of bringing your phone to the toilet? But seriously, if you're off to take a dump, let's just have it be a peaceful, mindful wonderful, relieving experience. Let it be an opportunity to escape from the screen world. We all need some more mindful moments in the day, so let's let this be one. And if you must study on the dunny, put some posters up in the toilet. Okay, lockdown survival guide, tip number 4. This one is huge. Get in frequent physical activity. And I say frequent. You need to get up off your chair and bouge your butt a little. Sitting down for extended periods of time actually has a plethora of dangerous health effects. This includes wasting away all of your delicious butt and leg muscles. And those are the muscles you use for walking. If these muscles get weak, it's easier to injure yourself when you fall over or while exercising. Another effect is the shortening of your hip flexors. So I'm sure you've experienced after sitting down for a long period of time and then you stand up and you go, oh, my hips, they just don't feel right. They just feel cramped. I bet you know what this feels like. And it can even be painful to move sometimes. Geez, just thinking about it is just making me feel uncomfortable. That's why I'm actually standing up right now, so you know, moving. But when I get to that point, when my hips feel that bad, then I know I've been sitting down for too long during the day. So I actively make sure I try and get up and just move around, do some exercise, do some yoga, do some stretching during the day, every day. Just some kind of movement where I'm not sitting down for so long and so much of the actual day. I mean, sitting down for too long, you can get even more serious health problems like back problems, and we've seen what happens when people get older and they get back problems. It looks awful. So let's take care of ourselves now. You can also get things like DVT, diabetes, depression, weight gain. It's just, there's a whole list of things that it can be linked to, and I got a link to where I got some of this stuff in the description bar, so take a look at that if you want to have a look. I think this is quite an important thing to be talking about, so I'll make a video going into more of the actual consequences. But for now, know that we are not sedentary creatures. We were made to move, so don't deny your body what it wants. If you find that you actually can't get away from your desk during the day, seriously consider getting a standing desk or even doing a DIY standing desk. I made my own standing desk out of cardboard boxes to put my laptop on, and it worked perfectly fine. In terms of more physical activity, I would seriously recommend just going for a walk every day at the very least, or even doing some kind of other exercise apart from just standing, like yoga or Pilates, or I've been learning tango, and honestly, it's such a great experience. You just feel so smooth. But find something that you enjoy. Heck, it could even be something quick, like 10 squats at your desk. Just use your glutes. Alright, tip number 5 to my lockdown survival guide. Eat well. God, almost all of these are pretty much just basic self-care. But during a stressful time like a lockdown, it can be very easy to resort to eating easy comfort foods. I say comfort because I don't like really that comforting in the end. And this food is typically packed with processed sugar. And despite it tasting good, ironically, it's actually really bad for your health. And when you want to be focusing on study or work during the day and your brain is a little bit fuzzled, not a good way to go about it. Or even when you're dealing with stress or depression during a lockdown like this, it just doesn't help, and it can make things worse. So instead of eating stuff that's really sugary or full of processed trans fats, like the standard kind of takeaway Macca's junk food stuff, aim for some yums that have a solid amount of your proteins, your carbs, fats, or however much of those that your body needs. Everybody's different. And seriously, do eat vegetables with at least 1 meal a day. Ideally 2. If you don't know how to fit veg into a meal, literally just steam it up on the stove for 5 minutes and then just pop it in your plate as a side. It takes 5 minutes, it's what I do. Steam up some broccoli or carrot, cauliflower. It's great, tastes great, I feel great, and it's easy. Mind you, it's okay to still have a sweet every now and again if you're craving it. Just be mindful and keep to a minimum. Okay, point number 6 in your lockdown survival guide is maintain hygiene. Please keep taking a shower every day. You may think that no one will be bothered by it, but the people living in your house and the people at the supermarket beg to differ. And in terms of yourself, maintain your hygiene for your own self-care and self-respect. But basic hygiene, like brush your teeth every day, take a shower every day, change out of your PJs in the morning every day. This falls into point 2 where I was talking about having your usual daily routine. Get ready for the day as you would any other day. The other thing about getting ready for the day and dressing up is that it actually sets you in a proactive mood. And then you can go and do the things that you need to do for that day. Think of it this way. PJs are for bedtime and therefore set you in a bedtime mood. Clothes are for daytime, which put you in a daytime mood. The way I see it is that wearing PJs all day, much like eating junk food or a spicy curry, may seem like a good idea at the time, but you're gonna regret it later. Okay, point number 7 for my lockdown survival guide. Talk to people. Yep, even introverts need a little social connection. Humans, we're a social species, and so we do interact in groups. Talking to someone when you feel that you're in the need for a chat has incredible effects on boosting your mental well-being. Whether you're sad or you're in need of talking to someone about, say, how lockdown's affecting you, or you're happy and you want to share that happiness with your friends and have a virtual hangout with them. Don't underestimate the power of friendship. Alternatively, you could also talk to yourself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We all go a little crazy sometimes. But the big thing about talking to people is that it reestablishes and reaffirms that feeling of connection between you and another person so that you don't feel as isolated and alone, which is a big thing that many people are feeling as a result of lockdown. Okay, point number 8 in my lockdown survival guide and how to stay on track. Go crazy! Why not? Okay, I'm kidding. But what I really mean here is that perhaps try finding something that you haven't done before and give it a shot. This doesn't have to be some grand project or huge productive thing that'll make you a zillionaire. No, just something fun for you. This could be trying a new TV series that had caught your eye, or sifting through some old memories that were lying around the house in some old boxes. I personally love doing this and seeing photos of Chibi Gabby and I go, oh, little one! Or finding old books or toys from when I was a toddler. It's such a lovely feeling and you just get taken back and you just go, oh, I remember those times. It's a nice mindful thing to do. Maybe give it a shot. Return to your roots as a child. Or heck, trying oat milk instead of cow's milk. Marmalade instead of strawberry jam. Be wild, go crazy. You never know what you may discover. There's a cobweb just floating outside my window and it's really eerie. I really don't like spiders. And because I live in Australia, all the spiders here will just try and kill you. Look, there are heaps more things that I could talk about in terms of some lockdown survival guide tips, but overall this guide focuses on general health and well-being. It's a trying time for us, so just try and take care of yourselves. That's the best that you can do. Retain some of that familiarity, talk to people for support, take care of yourselves because you deserve it. The best we can do is just make this as easy as possible to get through. If you like this video, give it a like. Leave a comment down below telling me what you liked about it or some other lockdown things that you guys have done to take care of yourselves. For more videos about how to work, study, and learn effectively, and all the super important skills that school may have missed teaching you, subscribe below and hit the wee little bell next to the subscribe button so that you get notified when my videos come out. You never know, perhaps watching one of my newly released videos will give you those few extra tips that you needed to blitz that homework assignment due that night, or to smash the work presentation the next day, or ace your exam. You never know. Until next time, take care of yourselves, everyone. Stay healthy, stay well, and remember, you've got this! I'll see you next time.